Okay, so there's this joke, let's call it, that I've been hearing a lot growing up in Romania, which is a traditional, conservative, and definitely non-progressive country. And it's something along the lines of never ask a woman her weight. At first, I didn't give it much thought. Well, because when I first heard it, I was about 5 or 6. But as I slowly grew older, I started not only hearing it, but actually acknowledging it. The thing is, I was older, but not old enough, because now, even after years of informing myself, reading, um, preaching to others about various weight-related topics, and about how unimportant that number on the scale is, I still struggle to get the one thing I'm preaching about through my own skull. And oh boy, do I struggle. It all started with harmless comments from my aunties like, "Oh, you've gained a lot of weight this past few months. Haha." Or harmless jokes from my friends. Like, "You're so strong. It must be because your arms are so fat. Ha ha ha." Or harmless small actions like avoiding weight related topics around me, filling up my plate more at family gatherings because they thought I ate more than others, which, spoiler alert, I didn't, or complimenting my personality and intelligence too much. You know, when you tell your friends complaining, "Oh my god, I'm so fat," and your friends tell you, "No, you're beautiful." Like, I told you I was fat, I didn't tell you I was ugly. Anyway, all these microaggressions were a sudden wake up call for me. So when I looked in the mirror one day at the beginning of the summer, after the complete quarantine ended, it hit me. I was quite undoubtedly fat, undoubtedly anyway. And what do people do when they realize they're fat and they want to lose weight? They go on a diet. That diet didn't go well for me. It started out actually normally. I was eating exactly what the meal plan was telling me. I was exercising a normal amount and I was drinking a lot of water. Like, I had alarms set hourly from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And every time when an alarm would go off, I would go to the kitchen and pour myself a cup of water. I drank a lot of water. Everything was going exactly according to plan, and I was happy. Soon enough, my friends and family heard about my diet, and most of them were supportive and really, really nice. Like, when I met up with them, they would eat things they knew I wouldn't crave, and they would essentially take care of me. But then there was the other half, made out of people who were trying to make jokes, but they weren't jokes per se, because they were saying stuff like, "You aren't good enough for this. You won't be able to do it. You're gonna give up tomorrow and gain double the weight." Fast forward to right now. I lost about 45 pounds, which is 20 kilograms, and I'm skinnier than ever. You might think, "Yay, you proved them wrong, go you," and you're definitely not entirely wrong for thinking that, but next time you see someone in a similar situation to mine, like they lost a large amount of weight or they gained a large amount of weight, please think twice and ask yourself before commenting on their body image, how did it get there? Because my journey was messed up and it messed me up completely. I now weigh myself obsessively every morning and after each meal, which aren't many actually. I eat about 400 to 500 calories a day, which are made up out of the same five processed foods I've eaten for the past 8 months. I make myself throw up or overuse laxatives. I exercise excessively every time I get over my calorie limit. I cry or have panic attacks when someone tries to feed me foods I'm not comfortable with, and the list goes on. But I don't want to make you pity me because that's not what this is about. Anyway, as some of you who are more informed on this topic might have guessed, I have an eating disorder. So, weight loss isn't always a good thing, and obviously weight gain isn't always a bad thing. We have no idea what someone has been through. They could be chronically ill, they could be depressed, they could have an eating disorder, and so on. So we should never comment on anyone's weight at that matter, because I assure you 100%, skinny people know they're skinny, and fat people, overweight people, know they're fat. Everyone is aware of their bodies. I recently actually read about the rule about this whole stating the obvious dilemma, and it's something along the lines of, and listen carefully, you should never point out any flaw in someone if they can't fix that flaw within the next 10 seconds. Let me give you an example so it gets to you thoroughly. Let's say you're having dinner with a friend. Hey, there's some spinach in between your teeth. Yeah, you should, with the tongue, you should swipe it. That's something you can say. Or there's some ketchup on your cheek. Let me wipe it for you. Yeah, there you go. These two examples are something you can say, and it doesn't make anyone feel bad, and they're good. But you shouldn't say stuff like, "You've gotten chunkier. You've put on a lot of weight. What have you done? How much have you eaten?" Or, "Oh my God, your nose is so big. What happened?" Which, by the way, your nose grows every year, in case you didn't know. Anyway, proceeding. At this point in time, where the body positive movements are being supported by more and more people each day, we still find ourselves looking in the mirror or at other people and putting huge labels on everyone and everything. They're very hard to get rid of. So why do we still do it? Why do we still put labels even though we know it's wrong? Obviously, most of it and part of it is the society, the society we grew in, and the society which evolved along with us. But which part of the society was it per se? And the answer to that question is diet culture. I know for people who aren't familiar with the term, this might only raise more questions, so I'll explain it to you thoroughly. Diet culture, in broad strokes, is a culture that values shape, body image, and weight over someone's physical or moral well-being. For example, it portrays being thin as morally good and being fat as morally bad. So for these people who are part of diet culture, being unhappy and putting yourself in danger are just means to an end. And weight loss is the ultimate goal and the thing everyone wants to achieve. Now, I'm definitely not saying we shouldn't go on diets. Like, everyone eats and does whatever they're comfortable with. Wanting to live a healthier life is nothing to worry about or to be blamed for. And I highly encourage healthier eating, and I recommend weight loss when it's absolutely necessary. For example, if you're extremely obese, if you're diabetic, or if you have any kind of troubles or issues that are directly linked to your weight. Another example, my grandma, for example, can barely climb the stairs or walk because of her weight. Her knees always hurt, her ankles always hurt. So she's constantly on a diet because she wants to become healthier. And that's something that I encourage. But no, you shouldn't have to lose those extra few pounds to get your summer blood. You shouldn't have to starve yourself for an event in order to fit in that dress, and you definitely don't have to put your life in danger to get there just because society says you're not perfect. Instead, you could try changing your mentality. It's harder than losing 8 weight, but the outcome is more than good, and you'll feel way better on long term. Quite recently, a friend found me throwing up something I had eaten previously that day, and she told me quite bluntly, there are only two ways out of your situation. You either recover or you die. That's when it hit me. Because if you cross the limits of weight loss, the consequences can be very serious. Death is a, a quite extreme one. And by the way, anorexia is the leading cause of death within all mental illnesses ever. But besides death and other extreme consequences, there can be less extreme but still dangerous ones, like a very, very low immunity, passing out a lot, constant dizziness, memory loss, like big chunks of memory disappearing, hair loss. My hair has gotten so thin. I'm literally, that's the only consequence I care about right now. Poor wound healing, and I lost my period, which can obviously lead to infertility. And these are only some of the symptoms, and only the physical ones. Going back to our speech, if you ever look into the mirror and feel like you're the ugliest person on this planet, or if the only thing you can see in that mirror are your insecurities and your flaws, I want you to know that you're definitely not alone in this, and you probably think wrong. I'll demonstrate you with this with a survey. In March 2019, the Mental Health Foundation conducted several surveys relating to these body image issues. According to those, about 20% of adults felt shame, 34% felt down or low, 19% felt disgusted, and about 13% mentioned experiencing suicidal thoughts or ideation because of their body image in 2018. So, loving your body is very hard. As that saying goes, you are your own worst critic. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. Everyone gains confidence at their own pace. Sometimes it comes with emotional maturity, sometimes it comes with exterior validation, or sometimes with material rewards. All you need to do is give it your all and believe in yourself, because you'll get there. It's easier and better than restricting your food intake on the long term, and it has better results. So don't go on that diet. Don't refuse that piece of cake. Honor your needs, love your body, and keep it healthy, because it's keeping you alive, and it's way more important than a few extra inches around your waist. My name is Alexia Pătrașcu, and I'm here to remind you, you are beautiful, you are loved, and right now, you're the most attractive person in the room.